I'm Mike Hatcher.
Hey folks, it's Ernie Pack.
I am Natalie Jones.
What's up, everybody? My name's Matt Warner.
Hey, I'm G-Man. You know what? I'm George Shoplin. I'm anybody you want me to be, but you know what? There's one thing I am. I'm part of the para movement. That's right. Feel it. Oh, feel it.
My name is Melody Knapp, and I am part of the para movement.
It's April, the Psychic Housewife from New Jersey, and I am part of the para movement.
Hashtag the para movement.
And I am part of the para movement.
And I'm part of the para movement.
I'm Sophia Tambrelli, and I'm part of the para movement.
Just wanted to talk real quick about the para movement that's going on in the world. It's all about para unity. It's about para family. It's about diversity like you'll see nowhere else. In the paranormal community, we got folks of all races, religions, sexual orientations, political beliefs, you name it. And we're spreading positivity, good vibes everywhere. So, hashtag the para movement. Join it, be a part of it, and everybody have a great day. Take care.
Why did you let him kill me? It was the clown.
You're listening to Animal Paranormal Live, where we talk about all things paranormal. And now, here's your host, the Animal.
Are you ready?
Hey, welcome to the Animal Paranormal Show. I am your host, the Animal, the one and only, well, hopefully the one and only, but thank you for listening. You probably listen to the most listening to / not listening to paranormal show in the world or the universe, because probably no one's listening right now. I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's some out there. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I just want to say before I bring on my guest, tonight will be my last show for a while. I am not going anywhere. You will see me on and off here. I will do a couple interviews here and there because I will be busy helping my wife. We're going to have a little one in about 6 months. So we will be busy, and we will remodeling the old Animal office. So I kind of moved my office into my bedroom. So now my studio became from this big to this big. So I'm in a corner, but it's worth it though. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic for what's going to happen. It's the biggest news, ever. Having a child's the most beautiful thing in the world. So just if you're going to have a kid, have one, because it's amazing and you don't want to miss out. But anyways, I just want to thank for my next guest, Dan Class. Oh man, Dan. Dan's an awesome friend, owner of Hinsdale House.
Wow. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I do not know what just happened.
All right, sorry,
There you go.
my computer just all of a sudden just like hit me for a second. I don't know what happened.
That was sweet.
But welcome. So how's it going, man? It's been a while since I last saw you. I think it's been like I think it's been over a year since I last saw you down up in New York at the old Hinsdale. So how's it been since then?
Good, man. I mean, it's been busy. Like we've been able to sustain having teams come there, and obviously teams aren't coming from different countries, but we are starting to open up a lot more. And I mean, weekends were booked through November, so that's great. I mean, that's just important, taking precaution and in between having teams there and cleaning up and making sure that everybody's being safe, and that's basically what we've been doing,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So has like COVID kind of like made it hard for people to do some haunts over there at the Hinsdale house lately, or has it just been getting busier?
Well, it's been busier because what we've been doing is, if say there's a family of 4, we would have normally packaged them with like 4 more people or a couple more people and had a tour. So now we're doing more tours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like tonight, Casey's there. She's doing tours every Monday and Wednesday for like walk-ins and for like people that want to just have that kind of small little intimate ghost hunting experience. So, I mean, we're doing those at least twice a week, and if not 3 times a week, and on top of the private ghost hunts that we're doing as well. So with COVID, it's made it a lot busier, a lot, because we want to try to appeal to everybody. We want everybody to experience the location, but we weren't able to have the bigger groups. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So I was just asking about the Hinsdale COVID masks.
The giveaway?
Yeah. Please get your COVID Hinsdale masks. They are awesome. Can people actually still get them? Are they still available?
No, yeah. I still have the promotion going. I'll probably run that till the end of the month. And then at the beginning of the month, I'm going to do another giveaway. Just keep giving back, and you'll see what we have up our sleeves coming up next month. But it's savethehinsdalehouse.com is the website. And you just go in there. All you have to do is pay for the shipping. I'm taking care of the mask and the printing of the mask. And then there's other offers that you can take advantage of if you want. You don't have to. You just want to get the mask, just get the mask.
Now, before we go on and talk about your history on becoming a ghost hunter, tell us a little bit of the history of the Hinsdale house and what it came about and how it became an interest to you of purchasing the Hinsdale house.
I mean, the house is known for a structural infestation and a structural exorcism that happened in the 1970s. When I first went to the house, I didn't know about that. I didn't really have any history of the location until I got prepped when I first went there. But the house speaks for itself, and anybody that's been there knows what I'm feeling and knows what I'm saying. I just felt like the house was calling to me. I felt like there was voices that needed to be heard that weren't getting heard, and it wasn't being given the time needed to have those voices being heard. So when they were going to tear it down, I don't know, everything just fell into place. There was many questions in my head. How am I going to do this? Where's the money going to come from? How is this going to happen? And it just seemed like everything fell into place for me, my location, and everything's been working out since I've gotten the location and the way that we run it's a business, the way that we have to look at it as a business, we have to make sure people are safe, people are happy, and people are doing the right things. But, you can run a business and try to make as many people happy as possible, and sometimes with business, there's freebies. Sometimes there's business, there's whatever. I mean, there's promotions, and you gotta keep doing what you can do to appease to everybody, so you can get as many good people there as you can. So, I mean, but we've been doing a lot. We're in store right now you remember that old ratty shed that we had over there, right?
Yep.
No doors on it. And we're raising funds right now for the shed. And we're putting in a really nice one that's going to have a cover. So the wood that we have there for people to use for bonfires when they're staying there won't get all wet when it rains. It's going to be really nice. And there'll also be like a little porch thing for people, and we'll be able to store all of our chairs and
That's
things
awesome.
in there, so they aren't getting scattered around or blown around or broken when nobody's there.
That's awesome. Debbie was asking, has the Hinsdale ever been called anything else?
The Hinsdale house has been called the Dandy House. I suspect that throughout time it was probably called different things, like the McMahon O'Brien house could possibly, or the McMahon homestead, because they were the family that was there the longest. They owned that place probably about 90 years, but in that family,
wow.
before it was sold out from underneath them. So yeah, I mean, I would suspect maybe the McMahon, and then definitely the Dandy house. I know Paul calls it the Dandy house still, because they're the Dandy family is the ones that all these things happened to back in the 70s.
Yeah,
which kind of made it famous.
Wow, that's awesome. I love the history of the Hinsdale house. And if people who are listening, if you have any questions for Dan Class, please ask your questions away. Don't hesitate to ask, because I'm sure he will answer. But another thing about the Hinsdale house, the one thing that intrigues me a lot is when I was there was the forest behind the woods behind the Hinsdale house, because I remember after leaving that place has called me back, and I seem to remember I told you about that. I had a dream about just the woods just calling me back a few times. So it's if people don't know about the woods of the Hinsdale house and what's actually in it and what's causing all the hecticness, around the house, if you want to explain that to people.
Yeah, I mean, the house has, and this is kind of one of my thoughts, and a lot of people feel it when they come there, especially people that are psychics. They feel the layers there, all the different energies that are on the property, and I feel like the house was kind of just plopped there on a piece of land that already had all this energy there. Yeah. But there's so many different layers on that property, which is why I always try to bring in different lay people, different healers, different types of healers, because I feel like you can't appeal to just one, because there's so many different layers, and just coming in with a one-shot deal, it didn't work in the 1970s with the Catholic Church. I mean, it helped, and I think if maybe they would have played on top of that with other things, maybe they could have helped healing and bringing positiveness and happiness to the land as well. But nobody knows what we're doing. We're just hoping that we're doing the right things, and and that's kind of what I've been doing, is trying to stay away from the negative aspects of the location and focus on the positive aspects of the location. And it seems to be lightening up a lot. You can feel like that negative intuition that you get when you come there, or you feel just because of the stories, isn't really there so much anymore. It does come out. It definitely does come out, and I always tell people to stay on their toes. But there's definitely a lot of layers that need to be explored for sure.
Yeah. Before I answer this question from Debbie, have you ever had people that have had experiences, or yourself, like UFOs or like Bigfoot or Mothman or any kind of encounters in the woods in there that have like come alive and people have experienced, or yourself?
Yeah, I mean, we've had experiences with UFO sightings, which they also had back in the 1970s. Clara writes about that in her book. But we also have had cast molds made of Bigfoot feet.
Wow.
We've also had pictures of another type of cryptid called the Pukwudgie that they've captured out in the forest. And actually, Jeff Fent captured the first picture a few years ago he was using different light spectrums at night, and he was experimenting in the woods with this, and he captured an amazing picture that just blows my mind, because you always have that feeling of having something there watching you, and you're always hearing like crackling, like it could be an animal, but then maybe it's this thing, keeping an eye on what we're doing and watching what we're doing. And I think it notices and sees all the positiveness and the offerings and the nice things that we're doing to the land, as opposed to the negative things.
Yeah.
I think it actually lightens the load up a lot when we're trying to communicate.
Agree. Totally agree. Yeah, I definitely totally want to be back there. That land is beautiful there, and the house. It's just if you haven't been to Hinsdale, go there because it's awesome, and you're going to experience so many things just in and around the house. But definitely go, hook up with Dan, call him, put your reservation in, and definitely, experience it for yourself. Stay the night because you'll get some amazing stuff come out of it, and an amazing experience. But Debbie was wondering, do you have an investigation events where we could spend the night there?
We do. The first one, the only actually one that we have scheduled so far this year is we have one on the May 9th with Christopher Moon and Dee Garcia. And Stephanie Smith, who actually runs the Shanley Hotel Tours, is going to be spending the night with some guests there, and I think you can still get tickets for that. There's a couple more tickets available. And then we have one planned in August, which is the Para Expeditions Camp Out, which will be camping outside, which we'll be able to spread out and keep social distancing involved and things like that as well. We normally did run them once a month, but just because of the whole COVID thing and having different groups of people in the close proximity, especially in the winter and spring and stuff like that, we didn't want to have mixed groups of people in there, and it's just uncomfortable. So I have done overnights for small groups that have requested, I would like you to be a tour guide, and maybe it's like 3 or 4 people, and we've had spent the night that way with just a secluded group of people that are normally around each other but not like separate people. So
yeah. Next question I wanted to ask you is, have you ever gone to or dared yourself go to the Hinsdale house by yourself at night and stay overnight by yourself, and have you had a crazy experience?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I won't say it's crazy, but I mean it's typical. So there was friends of mine that were running a wrestling called Empire State Wrestling, and they were down in Olean at Good Times, and it's an hour and a half drive for me to get home. So I was like, 20 minutes, hour and a half, I'll crash. And it's the creepiest thing, it's definitely has its creep factor when the nighttime rolls in and it's so quiet and it's like that silence is deafening. And I tried to lay on the couch, and it's like then you hear the footsteps upstairs, then you just feel the energy. It's just hard to sleep there, especially alone. And there was one time I just had my friend Kaylee there, and she was on the one couch, I was on the other couch, and I felt something brush the back of my head. And this was after like just laying down for 15 minutes. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. We had been investigating all night, and then it's kind of quiet. And then I felt that, and I turned over, and I saw a shadow going back and forth in front of the nightlight. That was the only light that was on in the whole place, is this nightlight on the wall. And it was definitely blocking out the light going back and forth. And I'm like, Kaylee. And I kicked her, and I go, I know you're still awake. And she turned around, and she's like, she kind of went like this. She was like, oh my God, do you see that? I go, yeah, I do see that. And that's why this is what you wanted to see. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't seeing things. And she jumped onto my couch, and it just kept going. It just kept going back and forth for like 5 minutes, and then it dissipated. And it was like, wow. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's cool. So I remember when I was there a year ago, where we were working on a project. I don't know if you remember, but one of the equipment people's car turned on by itself during the day. So that was, I'll never forget that, because just people like, what the hell's going on? And the keys weren't even in the car. So it's just like, you never know what's going to happen there.
Yeah. And not only that, what about with the station wagon? Were you there for the station wagon? Or when we were filming? Well, we were filming a reenactment part of the movie that we're doing. I mean, you can let people know. I mean, you were down there because you're a forensic diver, and you were helping to dive the pond for a movie called Dead Remains that we're putting out with Nick Groff. You can't say what you found. You can't say anything like that.
Nope, it's a secret, people.
But when I met Lee years ago, and I knew I met Lee for a reason, and I knew that was part of the reason that I had met Lee.
Yeah.
And then obviously you got to come as well, which is awesome to getting to meet you.
Yeah.
But we had the reenactment of an old station wagon, and we had Elizabeth Saint, who was also involved with production, had ordered this old 1978 Oldsmobile station wagon. Remember that purple one that was there?
I think so, yeah.
And it was in running condition. It was working great. We had a mechanic look at it, and it just died out as we were trying to bring it, doing the scene into the driveway. So I have these funny pictures of like Nick and his cousin Justin, and people just pushing the station wagon up the hill, and then they had to jump in it and kind of like ride the wave down, so it looked like they were driving into but it wasn't on, but the way it looks on the screen looked really awesome.
Yeah. So someone was just asking, why is it still a secret?
Well, because it's not out yet.
Gotta wait. Gotta be
You
patient.
gotta wait. Yeah, patience.
Gotta be patient, but it'll be worth it. Trust me.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we'll probably go back to that later. But I want to get to Tessa's question here. What's your favorite word statements that ever came through the Geo box at Hinsdale House?
Man, probably for me, like at the beginning, like when I first got the location, it was definitely like a cry for help, like help me, find me, stuff like that. And it was like, man, and then also really creepy after Paranormal Lockdown filmed there. It seemed like the house lightened up a lot, and it started asking for Nick. Like, where's Nick? Where's Nick? And I'm like, that's really weird, So I was doing a tour, and all of a sudden this dark voice started saying, "Where's Nick?" And I had videotaped it, and I sent it to Nick, and I said, "Check this out." And he's like, "Oh my God, I got to talk to you later." So then later, after I left the team that was there, after I did the tour with them, and they were spending the night, I got on the phone with Nick, and he's like, "Dude, I just cleansed my house because something had followed me home."
Wow.
And that exact night that that had happened with the cleansing of his house, and is the night that I started getting, "Where's Nick? Where's," on the Geo box. I was like, whoa, pretty creepy.
Wow, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. That's good stuff. But before we get into any more questions, tell us a little bit about your history on how you became a ghost hunter, or your experiences of growing up.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a haunted location. We did a TV show on myself growing up in a haunted house called My Paranormal Nightmare, which was on Travel Channel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have Discovery Plus, you can stream that and see my story on there. But to sum it up, it was nothing malicious, nothing negative as far as I knew, just scary being a child and not knowing what the heck's going on in the house that I grew up in. Things would be moved around. My sister's stuffed animals would be moved. We had crayon drawings on the ceiling. Stuff like that would happen all the time. And then, finding out more later, like I feel like the energy there saved my sister's life. We had just gotten a pool put in the backyard, and my dad hadn't had time to run the electricity from the pool to electrical outlet yet. So we were actually running the extension cord from the pool all the way into our basement and plugging it in, just to run the pool filter temporarily. And my sister was wet, and my mom had asked her to plug the pool filter in, and she started getting electrocuted. My mom was on the deck, and nobody else was in the house, and my sister says that she felt something pull her. Something pulled her away from that electricity. And, I mean, it's scary, but, to know that it was something positive, like that intervened possibly. I went and saw a psychic at Lilydale, and she said that they were 2 children's spirits living there, and they were attached to something in the house. And then I actually left, and I ended up buying that house from my parents, and started researching even more because my kids started having experiences, same that I did when I was a kid. And we ended up finding these paintings in the attic that I had never explored in before, a painting of a little boy and a little girl and a dog, and finding out that they had died of cystic fibrosis. and just kind of tied everything together. And I think it'll help to allow them to cross over. So I always say that it's kind of like my first Scooby-Doo episode of my life. And then I just was on my own path. I started like learning. I started going to Gettysburg and all the typical famous haunted places, and going on tours, and then formed my own team. Then did my own thing with my team for 6-7 years, all the time my team stuff. And then you draw apart a little bit because you want to even grow further. And started working with other people, traveling around, touring, wrote a book, and still got the team. We still do stuff when needed, and we just kind of on our own path, and then we come together when we need to.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's pretty cool. I like that. It's really cool to hear people's experiences of what they've gone through, and just be able to have all those experiences. Very intriguing to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, some of the things that I've dealt with, not dealt with, but, but put on my plate throughout my life as far as like experiences go.
Yeah.
Even working at a bowling alley when I was younger in my 20s, and managing like the night shift, moonlight bowling, and the crazy things that happened there when nobody was there.
Wow.
That was pretty interesting. And, I've gone back and done ghost hunts there as well, and got some amazing, in my opinion, amazing evidence from the location. I mean, I used to go there early on Tuesday mornings, and there was a ladies league in the morning, only 8 teams, and I had to make coffee, and they were usually out by 10. And I would oil the lanes for the league at night. And I remember like putting the lane machine down, and you just press a button and it goes down by itself and comes back. So I would go into the kitchen, which was right around the corner after I started it, to do the dishes and stuff. And I'd come back, and the thing would be unplugged. Like somebody's screwing with me. Right? The doors are locked. Nobody else is there. Chuck, the mechanic in the back, no, it's not Chuck. He's outside painting. And stuff like that would happen there all the time. It was pretty creepy place. But
Man, that's awesome.
I mean, there's been a lot of deaths there. I mean, one of the managers of the bowling alley died in the office. One of the old timer leagues guy had a heart attack and died right on lane 8, right about where this was happening. There was also a homeless guy that died in the corridor. He was trying to get warmth, and he just died. So there's a lot of Corky the mechanic, Mike McCorkle. I mean, he passed away. That was his life. He was at the lanes 24/7. So, I mean, just researching that place was like, wow, it could be so many different things, I mean, who wouldn't want to go back and enjoy an eternal game of bowling? Like fun. And back then that was the entertainment. That was the thing to do, and it's not as popular anymore, but people still love it.
Yeah, I always see myself at a bowling alley just not letting go of the ball and just sliding down the freaking lane. Right into forgetting to let go of the ball. That would be me at a bowling alley.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun stuff, man. But anyways, like, what is one of the most creepiest places you've been?
The creepiest places,
or interesting places? And
so many.
Has there been any funny moments in between those scary moments that have ever happened to you?
I think that there's always funny moments. I think because I make that happen. I think that you got to have funny moments. You got to have a good time with what you're doing. Be lightheaded with it all. So, I mean, crap. I mean, there's so many different locations. I'm trying to think of the name, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. But there's this old like castle on the waterfront in Iowa, Davenport, Iowa, that I stayed at, and I just can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. But I kid you not, I was sleeping in one of the bedrooms, and I got woken up to the shutters being flung open, like there was a maid coming in the room, opening the windows, and like, time to wake up, like I was like, damn. And I'm gonna have to Google it because I need to know the name. So because I know it's pretty popular. And Davenport, Iowa.
That's one place I have not been to yet.
I get called to Iowa a lot. And you want to know something funny? Did you ever hear the story of the two guys that lived in the Hinsdale house and they murdered, raped, and stole people's goods? They were luring people in off the stagecoach trail, holding the bodies in the basement of the Hinsdale house and burying them out after the winter thaw.
No, I have not heard about that.
Okay, so they were the Everett's brothers, and I don't want to paint these guys as murderers and things like that. I don't know for sure. It was, but they definitely lived there, and there's some folklore associated with them living there. Come to find out that one of the brothers is buried in Davenport, Iowa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The name of the mansion is called the Renwick Mansion that I stayed at now, and you can stay there too. It's like an Airbnb kind of place.
Oh, that's cool.
You can rent the whole place out, and it's really cool. It's like a lookout house, and I know the gentleman that Mr. Renwick that had this mansion built this kind of lookout thing on the top of the house, so he could go up there and watch the logs going down the river and see his production at work and stuff like that from his house, which was really cool. So like the two lakes the two rivers kind of just cross like that and then go down into one big one. So I mean, it's got all the elements. I mean, it's got the water, which is right there, within walking distance, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool place. I'd recommend.
Now the one thing that kind of caught, huh?
I'd recommend going. After
I'll check that out. Yeah, I have to wait after. I gotta stay busy. I'm kind of it's paranormal hunting. I've missed it all. But me and Lee are actually working on. We just got a new boat we're working on right now. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but pretty soon, probably by the summertime, we're going to be doing some shipwreck dives and stuff, and some paranormal underwater paranormal stuff, and using some amazing technology to catch some really amazing evidence in the shipwrecks.
Yeah.
And one of the places that we've been talking about that we want to do, which is one of my dream places to dive, is the Bermuda Triangle.
That would be awesome.
So
what are the depths there, though? I mean, how deep is the water?
It all depends. It could be from 50 to 300 feet. It all depends on plus how much you're certified too. That you can dive. So, but it's just really cool to go in those areas to see what's actually down there, what experiences you can have. Are the tales real, or it's just something that people are just, who knows? That's why we want to go there and testify it for ourselves to see what's actually going on there.
And there's so many ships, so many different ships that have been sunk in the waters of Florida because of hurricanes throughout 150, 200 years.
Yep.
That just pretty crazy to think about,
And ships that they're still trying to find to this day and they have not found yet. So, or planes, or just anything. So it's really cool to be able to explore. We're actually been talking about. I can't remember what part of Florida. I think it's in Florida or Georgia. We want to dive these B-2 bombers that have crashed in World War II that they never looked for after. They were test planes, but they lost them in the water somewhere. And there's actually a person that actually witnessed these bombers hit the lake. So we're actually going to probably be looking for those too, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
So, it's a lot of cool stuff. I love diving. Talk about diving. We did dive the lake, which was really cool.
Yeah.
At the Hinsdale house. It was a really chilly day too to dive, but I loved it. It was cool. It was be able to dive it.
It's nice to know that the pond is that deep.
Yeah.
I didn't know how deep. I would have never known how deep the pond was, and it's definitely a self-sustaining pond. Like with the aquifer and everything. So
yeah.
It's
and
really
it's
good.
cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, and it's cool where we found the aquifer just coming up in that middle area. So there's just so much stuff there, and I feel like we just scratched the surface there. I feel like there's so much more that we haven't even found yet. Like that we haven't even got to utilize tools that we haven't got to utilize. So
last summer. So the right side of the pond where, you know, it was kind of uninhabitable, you couldn't really walk over there that much.
Yeah.
We actually graded that down, and we actually found part of the old barn foundation over there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's really cool. And we've actually been
Yeah.
getting like EVPs right at the barn foundation.
Wow.
One of the ones we got was because the barn was mysteriously burned down, you know,
Yep.
and we said, how did the barn burn down? And the EVP that we got back said insurance.
Wow.
Yeah, what a big story that would be, huh?
Yeah, that's talking about the pond. The one thing that intrigues me also is the woman that people are seeing there.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
I mean, she's been being seen since the 70s. You know, I actually have recollections prior to the 1970s. Now, if anybody's seen my documentary Behind the Shadows Decades, that's on Kusum and Paraflix right now, you can actually watch the process. You know, it's not just it's me putting a team together of people that I trust to investigate some of the other claims of the Hinsdale house. And they were actually at the old barn foundation. We were actually interviewing people that lived there before the Dandy family that experienced kind of the same phenomena and it all has to do with the pond. The Dandy family that lived there in the 1970s would see a woman dancing around the pond in white, and then it would just dissipate in front of their own eyes, and it's been seen to this day. You know, a lot of people associate this woman with a hanging that happened on the hanging tree. You know, I don't know if that's 100% for sure or not. I think you and I probably have other theories at this point, but you just don't know. And until we can get answers, you know, it's still going to kind of be a mystery. But the cool thing about what we did is we dove into the folklore, which I love. I love that we were able to dive into the folklore history of the house and actually be able to prove some of that stuff is going to be pretty cool and add to the story of this house.
Yeah,
sure.
I can't wait till it's revealed because it was pretty intriguing to be able to dive something that had so much rich history, especially the stuff that, you know, we saw and pulled out, and just, you know, we can't mention it yet, but you know, pay attention out there. You know that when this movie comes out, it's just a lot of stuff that has come up and has been revealed about the Hinsdale house and what has happened, because there was so much stuff there that, you know, I'm sure, you know, you as an owner didn't even know about until it was like, you like had that holy crap moment until it was revealed.
Right.
And I remember your face. You're like, what the beep, you know, kind of that moment. Like, I remember that look on your face, like, what the heck, you know, I can't believe this. This is crazy. This is like something that's been discovered, and it's something that's actually leaving more, you know, answers and questions, you know. So it's just really cool to be able to find some of that stuff that, you know, that just leaves you thinking like, wow, you know.
I mean, that's why it's important to be able to spend as much time as you can at a location and really, you know, there's only so much you can do with the equipment that we have. If you're really going to dive into the stories and folklore of locations, then there's more that we have to do as investigators scientifically to come up with answers to these questions. And you know, it's at a cost. You know, what cost, I don't know, but it has to be done. You know, we have to push it forward even farther if we're going to get answers. So, you know, that's why I love what we do. You know, I love that we're able to do this type of stuff.
That's why I feel like we're not done with that lake. I feel like we're going to be diving it many more times.
Probably.
Yeah. Find some crazy cool stuff. Like Nick was saying, Nick Minnette, he's like, there's gold down there. So
I feel like it's oil too. You remember seeing oil coming out of the water?
Yep. Yeah, it was weird because the visibility. It's like I had a struggle. I have a big dive light that's really powerful, and I would put it in front of my face, and the visibility, you couldn't see anything, but you could see the aquifer, which was pretty cool, and you could see, like we were talking about, the oil. So it's amazing. Who knows what's down there?
And those fish, the fish that live in that pond, have to be like really mineral rich fish.
They're hiding because I did. It's like when I stuck my hand in the soot down there, it was like all the way to
Wow.
it went deep down. So who knows how deep that actually goes, down in that soot. So anything could be hiding in there.
Yeah.
Just good thing it's not a gator like in Florida. So
No, I mean, you might get a snapping turtle, but I don't even, I think the biggest is the bullfrogs and the
yeah,
bass. I mean,
yeah,
we definitely have some big bass that have come out of there. So,
yeah, yeah. That's what Lee was telling me, that you caught some good fish out of that thing.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. What's it? Oh, someone was just asking how big and how deep is that pond?
It's what, about an acre and a, not an acre and a half, it's about what, 25 foot deep, you said?
Yeah,
Probably
just
about 20.
about.
And what do you think? It's like a half acre pond, something like that?
I think so. It's a pretty good size for a pond. It's a good size. I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely. I mean, it could be deeper than 25 feet. It's hard to tell because of how deep that soot goes. So
Yeah.
it could go on for 30, 40 feet and you just won't know. You could just get lost in there. But it all depends on visibility and how much you could see and what's in there.
We also had found another aquifer. So you know how on the right side of the pond it was all like swampy?
Yeah.
So we found the aquifer up on the hill. It was
Oh
actually
wow.
just water. The water was coming right out of the hill, and so now we dug and put like this giant tube underground. So all the water from that tube or from the aquifer is actually going into the tube and into the pond, so it's not saturating the land. Because I think
Yeah.
that the aquifer used to fill the well that was there, and we found the old well over on the left side of the
Yep.
stairs, and that was drenching everything over there, so you couldn't even go over there anymore like you used to be able to.
Yeah.
Now that we have that taken care of, that all that land on the right side of the pond, you can go back on and explore. We've cut it all down, all the brush and everything, and it's really cool.
That's awesome. So, what event? I know we were talking before the show started. You said you wanted to announce the events that you got coming up. What kind of events or what kind of things are coming up? Projects or anything with movie projects or the movie you were talking about earlier. Anything coming up pretty soon?
Yeah, I mean, we have a big event on May 7th and 8th at Broken Bow Asylum in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. It's going to be photographs at Broken Bow. I don't know if people are familiar with photographs, but it's such an amazing organization run by Tim Maley, and it's what it basically does is it raises funds for pet rescues. And I know he's raised like $100,000 for pet rescues doing these photograph events. And if it's something that you want to go to, it's going to be like an investigation on Friday and Saturday nights, $60 from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then there's going to be like paranormal lectures and meet and greets and whatnot on Saturday. From noon to 8 for $40. You can do both. Maybe come spend the night. Like I'm gonna be there. Melody Knapp from the Ghost Finders will be there. Tim will be there. Ashley Storm, who owns Broken Bow Asylum. You got April and Braxton Rowan and
That's
Keith
awesome.
Bailey. Yeah, we'll all be there, and all the proceeds from this event are gonna go towards the I think it's called ARC Foundation, the Endangered ARC Foundation for elephants. They're all like animal rescue, elephant rescues from like circuses and stuff like that. And they have like it's not a natural habitat, but as natural as it's going to get for them at this point, and they've actually started like reproducing, and it's really nice, for the elephants. So, and then that's an amazing event. But photographsforpooches.com if you want to get tickets for that. Photographsforpooches.com, and come and see us on the 7th and the 8th of May in Oklahoma. It's like really close to Texas too. So if you're from Texas, it's like an hour drive.
Oh, that's not bad.
I mean,
at all.
some parts of Texas. I mean, if you live down in El Paso, it might be a little bit longer of a drive, or Brownsville or something like that. But I mean,
or if you live in Florida, it's forever.
Yeah, and if you're having a baby and you have to do construction and get all that type of stuff ready, I mean, it's going to be a long time. But and then we have a few tickets left for event at the Hinsdale house on hallowed ground, and we're bringing in Chris Sutton, shamanistic practitioner from St. Louis. This will be his third time there, and he's gonna do like a drum circle, and we do like a healing, his healing process for the land for the investigation. Bill and Chris Reap are gonna be there with me, and I'll be there as well. And I think we have like 6 tickets left for that. And it's only $50, and it's on May 22nd. If you just go to my website, danielclass.com, you can get one of those. Just click on the link and check it out, and hopefully get to see you soon. Some of those events.
That'd be cool. Sweet, man. What about Ghost Finders? You got anything going on with Ghost Finders? I know you guys are talking about new episodes coming up.
We just released a new episode on Friday.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we just released a new episode. It was released exclusively on QSIM, the old VidiSpace.
Yep.
And we did like a live event on Friday, and I got to talk to a lot of the fans, and then I was live at the Hinsdale house, and then watched the program together. It was the first time that all of us got to see it, except for Rob and Heather.
Oh,
so
wow.
Megan, Melody, and I didn't get to see it yet, and it was cool watching it, and then just watch it when I get home. So we have, if you don't have that streaming service yet, it'll eventually be up on Amazon Prime. But if you're interested in that, if you type in Hinsdale House, you get like half off. It's like $250 to watch all the programs they have on there, and it's really cool.
Now, is it like a paranormal kind of network, or is it all kind of different?
No, it's different. I mean, you're gonna have independent filmmakers, indie films. You're gonna have there is a paranormal section. When they first started it off, it was like they wanted to have a space for everybody, like a spot for everyone to be able to come and put their content on that would normally get overlooked by the big companies. And so you're getting a lot of independent filmmakers, a lot of shorts on there. You're getting the paranormal community. You're getting Bigfoot, cryptid, UFO, all that type of stuff on there. So it's really cool because it supports all aspects of filmmaking.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Yeah, when I heard Kuzum took over, I was like, oh, wow. I was so kind of surprised, and then saw that all you guys were still going to be on there. So it's really cool that how you guys are still staying with the network and just be able to share of all your experiences and what's going on in these cool places that you guys are going to. Now, with Ghost Finders, what are you guys doing any like new places out there that have never been sought out yet, that hasn't been on television, or just new places?
That's ultimately the goal, is to find places that haven't been seen before, but occasionally when something pops up that's iconic that we've never been to, who doesn't want to go to those iconic places, and why not put your spin on it, like we did with Winchester Mystery House. So many teams have been there, so many people have been there, but not many people have had the whole place to themselves for 2 days, to be able to go in and investigate and have free reign of the Winchester Mystery House. And it's just surreal. It would be so cool to just work there even for free, just to be able to walk through at night and just feel that energy. It's like, and same thing with like the old forts, like Fort Mifflin, old Fort Niagara, Fort Ontario. I mean, just being able to be at these locations where there's so much bloodshed and walk the same grounds and have nobody else around you except maybe spirits that you're hearing walking through these tunnels, or the pictures you're taking. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we're trying, like the first, we're trying to, so like, for instance, like if we had $50,000 to put into season 10, and we did 10 episodes, we're cutting that back this season. We're only going to do 5 episodes and double up on the production so we can make it that much better.
Yeah.
And that was kind of our goal with what we're doing. Make it more cinematic, really make sure that the edits are done right, make sure that the coloring's done right, and really be able to tell stories of the locations and the experiences that we have while we're investigating, just to really push it up a level when we're filming.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
The one place that I think you guys should check out, it's in Florida. It's called Casadega. You ever heard of it?
Sounds familiar.
It's me and Lee went there years ago. It's it's more of people mediums, which is like all kind of people live there. It's an old town where this old hotel that it's supposedly like one of the most haunted hotels in the area, and they have the devil's chair and just a lot of crazy stuff happens there. So it's.
I mean, I like Florida. I mean, I would definitely come back to Florida.
Check it out.
I was there. I was there last week, and I did not want to leave.
I always want to leave.
It was so nice.
I know it's actually getting hotter here in the rainy season.
Especially when I'm looking at my phone at the at what the weather was like in Buffalo, and I'm thinking, oh, it's 80 here. Oh, it's 43 in Buffalo. Oh, it's 35 in Buffalo. Oh, it's 75. You know, it's like I know they have their cold spells every now and then, but you know, it was nice when I was there. Really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Florida. It's a whole different place. It's nice here. We got a lot of nice areas here, but I love going up north. I like being in the cold because we don't get the experience of snow.
You like it for the opposite reasons that I like it.
Yeah, I like the snow and the cold and all that stuff.
I would be a snowbird for sure, and then you'd be an iceberg. You'd be a penguin.
Well, I'm originally from Rhode Island, so.
Oh well, all right then. You know what it's like then.
Yeah. I just miss it. Well, when it rains here, it's funny because they'll flood in areas, and you'll see people in kayaks rowing down their streets. It's.
Yeah, well, I thought that was funny. The division
like, it's here in the summertime when it rains, well, it's bad.
We were in a gated community, and the beautiful houses, but they have the houses strategically built around like you could see like where they just dug a lake specifically probably for flooding, and all the water probably goes into this lake when it rains, and then it just dissipates eventually, and hopefully that takes up most of the rainwater that comes. Oh, I mean. Theoretically, I guess. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Depending on how bad the storm is.
Yeah, or you might just see a gator coming down the... Which I actually saw one today at work at a golf course, so it's like a normal thing.
That's normal, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a normal thing. You'll see gators here. Just leave them alone.
Unless you want lunch.
Huh?
Unless you want lunch.
Yeah. Oh, you got gator tail.
Yeah,
which is actually really good here.
It is.
So
it is good. I've had it.
Really good. But yeah, man, definitely when you come down to Florida, we'll have to hang out and definitely check out some cool haunted locations.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm gonna have to be the one to come down there.
Yeah.
See the new baby or something, you know?
Yeah, man, come and hang out. Come and me and Lee will bring you around some cool places, and we actually just checked out. We did last Halloween. We did a hotel that we actually stumbled upon because we were just like taking a little trip in the middle of nowhere in Florida. And we found this hotel where Al Capone actually stayed at and has his own like hidden tunnel.
Wow.
Underneath the hotel. So we actually got to be the first people ever to paranormal investigate and have this big Halloween party and food and all that cool stuff. So yeah, that place is very active, I think, honestly. But yeah, there's quite a few experiences of people having getting scratched and just touched and a lot of things moving around. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Especially when you involve the mob, you know, that's deep.
Yep. Especially Al Capone, man. That's all rich history, man.
A lot of ties to the stuff in Buffalo with him too, you know?
Yep. Yeah, so we'll definitely have to have you come down, and we'll have to be back up there. I'm sure we're going to be up there at Hinsdale a whole bunch of times, so
yeah,
we'll be back and
You'll
forth.
be back.
Well, before we get off the air here, what would you give someone who's just starting out, you know, as the last question, as a paranormal investigator, you know, what would you give them, like kind of what techniques and how to start out, and what kind of wisdom would you give them?
I would just say to become a sponge, you know, like and I know it's hard. A lot of places, it's hard for people to just break out and become a paranormal investigator because sometimes places are cliquey. Yeah. But if you come to New York or Florida or Michigan or Iowa or some cool places, we are very accepting of new people that are interested in the field, and just keep looking. Don't get discouraged. Look for somebody that is accepting of you, accepting of who you are, accepting of what your beliefs are. And then I would say to just learn from maybe that person, or meet somebody new and maybe learn a little bit something from that person, and then become your own investigator, become your own, have your own style, do what you think is right, because nothing that I do or the next person does could be completely 100% correct.
Yeah.
So I would just say, learn as much as you want and then become your own person. And when you have questions, seek out the answers. That's all you can do. Just like like I do, like you do. We have a question, we're gonna try to find more experienced people.
Yep.
Ask those questions too.
And another thing I'd like to add to that is being patient, man, because you're not gonna always, your first time investigating, you're not always gonna expect something to happen like that. It just unless if you get lucky. Sometimes people have investigated and it pops out like them, but that ain't gonna happen every day or all the time. Trust me. I was gonna say there are positive ways to think about it though. You could be sitting there in the dark for 4 hours and get nothing, but then always think in the back of your mind, I could be wasting $100 at a bar, or I could be wasting $100 at a casino, or I'm saving money. I'm having fun. You're on a journey, and if you don't enjoy doing that, then it's probably not for you. Like that's part of what we do is having that amount of time where nothing happens, and really just trying to seek out the evidence. So. And it's relaxing. It's not stressful.
It is relaxing.
You just get to chill with cool people and relax and have fun, have some laughs, have a few drinks and some pizza, and just, and talk about the experiences, because that's what it's all about. No matter what.
By drinks, you mean soda and water, right?
Yeah. Not moonshine. Maybe a little.
Next thing you know, you'll be like on the headlines. The animal drinks before investigating. Like gets drunk.
Well, what's funny about that? Me and Lee were talking about we should start a show called the Two Drunk Paranormal Investigators, and just go to the investigation drunk and just go all out. Me and Lee would always talk about doing something stupid like that.
That would be something. Definitely be raising some vibrations. I don't know if they're the good ones, but you'd definitely be helping out with something there.
Yeah. But anyways, buddy, thank you so much for coming on Animal Paranormal Live, and thank you for being kind of my last guest, but not my last guest. I will be back, like I said, on and off. But thank you so much. Thank you.
Maybe do one a month or something,
I'm thinking about doing once a month, probably having a guest here and there, depending on what's going on. Or when
needed.
Yeah. And I'm gonna try to sneak an investigation in a little here and there, because I'm jonesing badly. So I need a couple in there in the pocket.
There you go.
So, but yeah, man. Let's talk behind the scenes, and once we sign off. And thank you everybody for coming on Animal Paranormal Live. And I love you guys. And just keep up, on my Facebook page, Animal Paranormal Live, when my next shows will be up. Hopefully soon. You never know. But talk to you soon, guys, and be safe.